In lesson 2, we're going to learn about opposites and absolute value. So I'm going to go through several examples with you before you have to do it on your own. Example 1, every number has an opposite. We're going to locate the number 8 and its opposite on the number line, and we're going to explain how they are related to 0. So first, if you always start at 0, we're going to go to positive 8 first. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units away from 0. Okay? When you say the opposite of 8, it is written like this. This is the opposite of positive 8. Okay? And the opposite is going to be 8 units away from 0 in the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the opposite of 8 is negative 8. In this situation, they are both an equal distance away from the number 0. Okay, so if we go on to the next example, we're going to write the opposite of each number. Locate the opposites of the number on the number line below. So I'm going to keep writing it the way that I did on the first one to make sure you're familiar. The opposite of positive 9. So positive 9 is right here. It is 9 units away from 0. So if we go 9 units away from 0 in the other direction, the opposite of positive 9 is negative 9. Okay? Now this one is the opposite of negative 2. Okay? Negative 2 is right here. It is 2 spaces from 0. So if we go 2 spaces in the opposite direction, the opposite of negative 2 is positive 2. We're finding the opposite of positive 4, which is written like that. So again, just so we can make sure we're using the number line, positive 4 is 4 units from 0. So if we go 4 units from 0 in the opposite direction, the opposite of positive 4 is going to be negative 4. The opposite of negative 7, and sorry to be redundant, but this negative 7 is 7 units away from 0. So we're going to go 7 units in the other direction. So the opposite of negative 7 is positive 7. Okay? So the next example we have, I'm actually going to have you do these in Educanon as I read them. Okay? We're going to write the integer that represents the opposite of each situation. Explain what 0 means in each situation. So 2a, 100 feet above sea level. Please write the opposite of that. 2b, 32 degrees below 0. Please write the opposite of that. 2c, a withdrawal of $25. That's when you take money out of your account. Please write the opposite of that. Example 2, the opposite of an opposite of a number. That's a mouthful. What is the opposite of 8? How can we illustrate this number on a number line? Okay, so we're going to walk through a couple of steps. I'm going to put 0 here, and I'm going to number my number line up to positive 8, and then I'm going to number it this way. This is a good review of yesterday's lesson. 1 down is negative 1, negative 2, 3 down, negative 3, 4, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8. Okay, so A asks us to label the number line and locate 8. Check. Label the opposite of 8 on the number line. What is the opposite of 8? So 8 is 8 units away from 0. So now we're going to go 8 units in the other direction, and the opposite of that is going to be negative 8. Use the same process to locate the opposite of negative 8. So we're finding the opposite of negative 8. What is the opposite of negative 8? Well, if negative 8 is 8 units away from 0, and we go 8 units in the other direction, the opposite of negative 8 is just going to be 8 or positive 8. You don't need that positive sign, but you can put it there. So, in general, the opposite of a number is the number itself. The absolute value of a number is the distance between the number and 0 on the number line. A number and its opposite have the same absolute value. That's the most important thing in the whole lesson right now as far as I'm concerned. A number and its opposite have the same absolute value. So, for example, positive 8 is 8 units away from 0, and negative 8 is 8 units away from 0. So let's go to the next page for another example. Example 3, the absolute value of a number. The absolute value of 10 is written as the absolute value of 10. These sidebars here mean absolute value. On the number line, count the number of units from 10 to 0. How many units is 10 from 0? Well, that's pretty easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units away. So the absolute value of 10 is 10. It's 10 units away from 0. What other number has an absolute value of 10? Well, now you're going to look for a number on your number line that's 10 units from 0 in the other direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the absolute value of negative 10 is also 10, okay, because negative 10 is 10 units away from 0. All negative numbers will have a positive absolute value. Okay, let's look at our next examples. Example 1, we have a number negative 6. They're asking us for the absolute value of negative 6. So if you look at negative 6, it's right here on your number line. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units away from 0. So the absolute value of negative 6 is 6. And this is a great question. What's another number or a different number on your number line with the same absolute value? Will go in a different direction. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the absolute value of positive 6 is also 6. So they match. Now I'm going to have you do examples just like this one, but on your own. Okay, so number 2, your number is 8. What's the absolute value of 8? And what's a different number with the same absolute value? Number 3, our number is negative 1. We're going to find the absolute value of negative 1. And please also find a different number with the same absolute value. And I'm going to have you do these exercises on your own. We're going to write the integer that represents the statement. Number 4, the opposite of a withdrawal of $80. Number 5, the opposite of a gain of 12 yards. Number 6, the opposite of 5 feet below sea level. Number 7, the opposite of owing $36. Write the integer that represents the opposite of each real-world situation. Write the meaning of the opposite in words. A gain of 20 yards for number 8. Number 9, a debit of $45. Kids usually have a difficult time with the word debit. Debit means you're taking it out or withdrawing it from your account. Write the integer that represents the opposite of each situation. Number 10, 12 degrees below 0. Number 11, receiving $60. Number 12, a loss of 10 yards. And finally, we're going to write the absolute value of each number. Give another number that has the same absolute value. So number 13, let's find the absolute value of negative 32. 14, don't be surprised there's a fraction. What's the absolute value of 3/8? Just remember the definition of absolute value. Number 15, some decimals here. Find the absolute value of negative 9.5 or 9 5/10. And this is a great challenge problem. 16, take the absolute value of 32 and add it to the absolute value of negative 45 for a sum. And great job today in lesson 2. Have a great day.